ProSafe tiered resident screening system. So part of leasing involves screening, or at least you would hope it does. We've actually had competitors that tell us they don't do screening. They don't check credit, things like that. So there's a number of things we do to protect you. And we call it a tiered screening system because the system really needs to be dialed in to the property that you have. We can't use the same screening for a $725 duplex unit that we do for an $800,000, $4,000 a month rent. Those are two totally different things. And so you can't apply the same criteria because on one hand, you would let somebody in that probably cannot, is not going to be a great tenant for your really nice house. And on the other hand, if you use the screening for the nice house and the lower end house, you won't be able to find a tenant that ever meets the criteria meets the higher level criteria that's willing to move into the house that is lower rent. And so that's why we tier it. In terms of what we do in screening, there's a number of things that we check. It always starts with income because it's an income property. If the tenant needs to have a certain amount of income, and for us, that is 3 times the rent gross income. So whatever the rent is multiplied by 3, that's the minimum amount of income they need to have in order to afford the property. Along with the verification is not just the amount, but the fact that it's real income. And we have some great things that we do, including the fact that we have the ability on income to check people's bank accounts directly. And it's very convenient. So it's easier for the tenant and easier for us. And it's fraud proof. We've seen a lot more fraud since the advent of COVID. For whatever reason, you see a lot more people trying to give you, false statements of various types. And there's a lot out on the internet that makes it easier to do that. We can literally just punch in some numbers, add in a fake business name, and it gives you pay stubs or a bank statement. And so this eliminates all of that. And the tenants literally just verify their name, a login for an employer bank account, and they're able to log in, and the system itself verifies everything is set. So that's a great extra feature. It doesn't always work, but it's part of the system that we offer that allows us to 100% verify that the income is there. Now, there's many other things that are used. We use credit, as mentioned earlier, and that gives you a really good overall basis to evaluate a tenant's general kind of behavior financially. We look at their nationwide criminal and background check. So even if they're moving in from Atlanta, we're still able to see their history. We don't just have to rely on, a check at the local, any one of 30 or 40 nearby, clerk of courts websites. So it's nationwide. It gets all of that. We're also doing a nationwide eviction check because obviously, even more important than credit is if tenant has previously history getting actually evicted, then that's a pretty big red flag that they probably shouldn't be moving into the house, your house. So that's another way that we protect you. There's a number of other things that we do as well in terms of protecting you and keeping you safe, screening your tenants. And we'd love to work with you to do exactly that for you.